Hi, Saoirse. I'm sorry it's taken me a while to get back to you. It's been a bit busier than I anticipated. I hope you're well. Um, I thought I would send you a voice file because it's you might be able to work it into your YouTube channel or podcast or whatever you're doing, and it's a bit more interesting than text. So I'll go through your questions as best I can. How did I get into voice acting? I got into voice acting because I was an advertising copywriter in a radio station called Radio Trent at the time in Nottingham, and in those days it was very difficult to record people remotely. It was expensive and a bit awkward to do, and so they used to audition everybody who worked in the building to see if they could do any extra voices for commercials. And one of the reasons they hired me was because they realised that not only could I write commercials, but I could do lots of strange and wonderful voices. And so I was a good person for them to hire. So I started writing lots of commercials that had more than one voice in them. And then we'd have somebody would turn up on a Tuesday or a Thursday. There was a circuit of guys would come round the radio stations, literally driving around all the radio stations in the country and reading commercials. And the guy who arrived would do one voice and I would do the other voice. And then they paid me, would you believe, £3 per extra voice that I did. And when I realised that if Radio Trent was going to be prepared to put me on air, then other places must, I put a cassette, would you believe, showreel together and sent it to all the radio stations around the country and resigned. And the rest is history. What do I like about Quasi as a character? I like the fact that Quasi is brave, and he's not modest, which is not normally a good quality, but it makes for a good character in a TV show. And he's actually very kind underneath everything, and worries a lot about people. So these are all good qualities in a character. Did I enjoy voicing Scoop, Muck Spud, Mr. Bentley? Well, of course I did. How could you not? That was a great job to do. And when Bob the Builder finished, I thought I will never be so lucky as to get another show that's as successful as Bob the Builder. And what do you know? I ended up in Octonauts, so I've been incredibly lucky twice. And would you believe, just yesterday I bumped into Neil Morrissey, who played Bob, in a pub in Hampstead in North London, and I haven't seen him for years and years. And we looked at each other and went, no! And there were lots of people. He's rehearsing a play at the moment, and he had lots of people with him, and they made us do all the voices. So that was very annoying for all the other people in the pub garden. What was it like working on Thomas and Friends? Well, it was great, and there are lots of Thomas fans around the world. And I think that some of them are very keen that the details are possible. Some of them are very keen that the details are accurate. In fact, there's even, I don't know if this is still true, but there used to be a consultant who would check that all the details of the train were right, because Thomas fans are so obsessed with that kind of thing. So, of course, it was great. And I did voices for the American show and the British show. So I played James, the fastest red engine on Sodor, and various other things. And, of course, I mean, it's extremely great. How do I get on with the cast from Octonauts? We all get on incredibly well, luckily. And there have been some new people have come in recent years, and they've all been lovely. And I think it must be a bit intimidating, really, because myself and Keith Wickham and Simon Greenall and Paul Panting have all known each other for years, and Teresa Gallagher and Joe, and so I think it's a bit strange for people to come in and meet a tight-knit group like that. Not that we're not friendly, we're incredibly friendly, but still I think it must be strange for people. And everybody's been absolutely lovely. So it's, as I say, I'm very lucky to get a show as successful as Octonauts, again after working on something like Bob the Builder. What was it like voicing Sweep in Sooty's Amazing Adventures? I mean, all voicing. I nearly said all voicing was fun. Not all voicing is fun, but nearly all voicing is fun. And Sooty was such a long. Sooty and Sweep was such a long time ago. I think there was a very nice chap who was directing that show. I think his name was John, but I gosh, I hope he's still alive, but I haven't seen him for many, many years. So, I mean, I remember it being fun, but I don't remember I can't even remember what studio it was recorded in, which is terrible of me. But I'm getting to that age, Saoirse, where things are beginning to slip away. What was it like working on Pet Squad? Pet Squad was great, and I wish that the professor had a bigger part, and I played the robot. But the professor, I quite liked the professor. He was, he was great fun. And I played the robot. What was the robot's name? Can't remember. And I get on very well with Adam Longworth, and I got on very well with the producer, Fiona Robinson, and she voice directed, and she was great. So it was all good. Are there any projects I'm working on currently that I can talk about? Well, yes, I'm working on Milo the Cat, and that got a British Animation Award. But I suspect you probably want projects that people don't know about. And there is one that I'm very excited about, which is going on Netflix, which is for an older audience than I normally play for, because a lot of the stuff that I've done has been preschool and pre-teen. But this is going to be early teens, and it's extremely dramatic, and it looks absolutely brilliant. And I get to play some of the worst villains imaginable. Normally, if you're doing shows for quite young children, then everybody is lovely and there are no nasty people. But this is because it's for an older audience and it's a drama. And it's based on some books, but I just don't think I'm allowed to tell you. So this must be very annoying for you. I do apologise. But yes, so there is something. And no, I can't tell you what it is, but it's going to be quite exciting. And I'm a terrible, terrible villain. In fact, I played a scene the other week where I died, and it wasn't pretty. So yes, so that's all good. And yes, it is okay for you to post your answers on your YouTube channel. And once again, I hope I've said your name properly, Saoirse. Thanks for asking questions, and I hope all this is good for you, and great I wish you great success with your YouTube, and all the best. Bye bye.